This is the almighty WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley, and you're watching the Battleground Podcast.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Battleground Podcast. It is an exciting time because we are days away from one of the biggest WWE events of the year. SummerSlam is taking place this Saturday, August 21st. You can watch it 8 p.m. Eastern on Peacock. And let's go ahead and bring in Josh, who's going to help me out on this interview today.
Hello,
Josh,
sir.
It's been a while since you've been on the show.
Been a while. How are you doing?
I'm good. And I'm excited because our guest that's on the show today was just on back in March, and things have kind of happened over the past couple of months. So the almighty Bobby Lashley is on the show, my man.
Look, what's going on?
Hold on. No, that ain't gonna work. I mean, Bobby's over here flexing, and we just look like a bunch of goofballs right now. But Bobby, thanks for being on the show with us today.
My pleasure, man.
Man, it's always an honor to get you back on the show. And of course, you got a big match heading into SummerSlam against Goldberg. What are your thoughts heading into this match at SummerSlam?
Yeah, man, Goldberg has a big match at SummerSlam. I just have another title defense. I say this and I'll say it again, is I have a lot of respect for Goldberg. If you don't have respect for Goldberg, go to the arena when he comes in. The crowd went insane when he came out there. So it's always cool to be able to have these matches with some of these guys. My title run has been really fun. I've had an opportunity to fight and punish a lot of people across the board. And I think Goldberg is just going to be another one of those. I mean, I like him. And I think he still has that possibility of maybe knocking out 90% of the roster. But I think he's kind of run into a wall here. And I think it's going to be one of those matches that some people are kind of curious about, because the typical Goldberg match is like a very short match. Right. But I think that this is going to be a little different. I think we're going to give him a little bit something that that people may not expect.
For sure. And it's exciting. Like you said, I mean, most Goldberg matches, you look back to a lot of them and they're less than 5 minutes, but I feel as if he's going to have to go the distance against Bobby Lashley come SummerSlam.
Well, you know what? I told this and I said this before. I don't know if you saw last pay-per-view with Kofi. Kofi really didn't need to be in shape too much for that match. And I don't think Goldberg really needs to be in shape for his match either, because I'm in great shape. So my matches have been basically what I'm going to do to the other person. So, I mean, Goldberg, he can stop training right now. He can just come over to the pay-per-view, because I'm going to punish him for as long as I want to punish him, and then I'm going to finish him. So all he has to do is be there and show up. Because that's kind of where we're at in the career right now. I mean, like I said before, I have a lot of respect for him, but
it's just another match for you on Sunday or Saturday.
It's gonna be bad.
Now, Bobby, if Goldberg didn't insert himself into this title picture, is there anybody that you would have wanted to wrestle at SummerSlam this year?
SummerSlam's big.
It's the second biggest of the year, man.
It is.
There's a lot of big matchups, but you know what I can say? Of course, there's that big elephant in the room that everybody talks about all the time with the Brock matchup. That's always going to be something that people talk about, and I don't mind talking about it. I think a Brock matchup will be really big. I don't know what Brock's doing. I think he's just eating deer and elk somewhere out in the woods.
But that man bun, that is like the greatest hair I've ever seen on a guy before.
It's great. It's great. He can't do any wrong. No. He's out there chasing animals out in the woods and ripping them apart with his hands. I mean, that's what Brock's about. That's the mystique of Brock, and I would love for that matchup. But one thing that you gotta take into consideration also is this roster is a fun roster, because we have a lot of really cool people and a lot of really good matchups that I'm really interested in. I mean, you can go all the way down some of the smaller guys in the Drew Gulaks. I mean, the guy's incredible. The Ali, the Ricochet, some of these guys are incredible. And these guys have the possibility of being one of those guys that kind of break the mold of the world champion and step up in there in that world champion picture.
Yeah,
sure. Not taking the title away from me, but I'm saying when I retire or something like that, these are some of the guys that will definitely be in the running for that world title. Those guys, you have Riddle that's making some big waves. Riddle's not a little guy, and he has a lot of fight experience. You have Keith Lee, Damian Priest looking amazing out there. Cross just came in. You have the guys that are already there. You Randy's, your AJ's. Almost is a giant. You know, we don't even know what he can do. Elias is there. Sheamus is still there. Jinder just came back, and he has a group, and he's making some huge waves. Drew is still there. So I'm saying, you know what, we like those guys that are not in the business to come back, that we talk about, the Brocks and the Goldbergs and everything like that. But we still have a lot of guys on our roster that are extremely talented, and I'm really anxious to be able to have an opportunity to have feuds with all of these guys.
Yeah, and for sure. And you mentioned like Keith Lee. I mean, I would not only buy tickets to the show, but I would buy the DVD when it comes out and everything else. If we can get a Bobby Lashley versus Keith Lee match, like I would definitely buy tickets for that, and the pay-per-view and DVDs and everything else. So, so a lot has kind of changed since we last talked to you back in March. What has your first title reign been like thus far? And now, especially getting to do it in front of the fans, because when you had the title, when you got it, it was kind of still in the Thunderdome-esque. Yes. And you're now able to be out there as a champion in front of fans.
I love it. I love it because, you know, just coming back in front of the fans, you first thing you want to know is how they're going to take to you as a champion, because, you know, you get this stuff on social media, and you get this stuff on just fans that come up and meet you as you're traveling and everything like that. And they say the good words, and they say the bad things, the good things, whatever they may be. But when you actually get out there in front of the crowd, then that's when you start really honing your craft again, and really giving the crowd what they want and figuring out what they want. So as a champion going in front of these crowds, I mean, we've been having some great shows. We've been selling out everywhere we've gone. So I just kind of want to keep that thing going. I mean, we're just, the shows are great. You know, you have a mix between SmackDown and Raw, some of your top talent. And we have one this weekend that we're excited to go to. And then it's just going to keep rolling. But I think that the fans are feeling me just the way that they should as a champion. And I think that I have a lot more to go for them.
For sure.
And, you know, it's really great with all the fans back now. It's the fact that we're in the arenas with you and feeling how you feel with that championship. With the fact that you mentioned Brock earlier and wanting to face him, even in general, is being a champion versus him more important than not being a champion? Do you want to face him in a championship match? Do you just want it to be a grudge match?
I think it's a championship match, and I think it's a championship match because Brock's not going to come back for me just because he wants to have a match against me. Brock is like a Goldberg. Brock comes back for a title, so it's either me or Roman. I think WrestleMania would be really interesting if we saw, I think it'd be really interesting if we saw a Rock Roman match.
Yeah,
and a Bobby
little bit, just a little bit,
and a Bobby Brock match as two of the headliners. You see that? I mean, that's
I'll pay double for those. Double.
You ask, just give me your money.
I will give you all the money in the world.
I will Venmo you tomorrow, Bobby.
I'll give you my entire year's salary in radio to have that happen. So
that's how you put asses in seats.
That's right.
For sure.
There's definitely some possibilities there, and I welcome it. You know, I'm the type of guy that's always preparing. So if anything is coming, yeah, I'll be definitely ready for it.
Man, and that's kind of the as the internet wrestling community, and of course as us as wrestling fans, that was kind of the thing, is like, and we talked about this last time you were on about you and Brock and how you know, wanting to have that match, and everybody wants it. It's just kind of, it's like a steak. You got to let this marinate. You don't want to give it to him right now.
Yeah.
But I think at WrestleMania next year, I think that's where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been dry aging it for a while. We're spending some time. It's gonna have a lot of flavor when it's time.
And that will be probably the best moment for us as wrestling fans, when we finally get, you sit there and you're watching WWE Network on Peacock, and here's Bobby Lashley, here's Brock Lesnar doing the stare down in the middle of the ring, and everybody loses their damn mind. That's what I waited for.
An iconic moment.
It is. It's going to be like that moment when Rock and Hogan stare down each other and they're looking around. That's going to be that moment for Bobby and Brock when it happens.
Absolutely.
Ready.
So one last question, and before we let you go, you had a hell of a run in the octagon. Would you ever consider having another fight in there? And if so, like, is there anybody you would want to fight? And I know some fans have chimed into us when we talked about you coming on the show, and a certain name comes to mind from our listeners at Bellator. Would you want to take on Jake Hager in the octagon?
I'm a fighter, man. And when it goes to doing something like that, yes, I do want another fight. Yes, I would love to fight more. And I'm not one of those guys that call out. I don't want to see the headlines that say, "Oh, Bobby Lashley calls out so and so,"
right?
Because that's not what it is. I think Hager. I think he's doing great. I think he's doing great. I think he's moving up. He almost got the Fedor fight. I think he was politicking for that for a while, but a fight with him is something that it would be cool. I would definitely do. I would definitely fight probably anybody. If I went back to fighting. So I'm not saying it's one particular person that I'm looking for. The wrestling fans would love to see one wrestler fight another wrestler, and I think he's probably the only one that's fighting right now that is an option. But
right.
It's not one of those things that I want to call him out, but it would be a cool fight. I would definitely entertain it.
I think it would be fun to see, Bobby back in the octagon once, because I mean, you're at the height of your career right now at WWE. I mean, there's nowhere else to go unless maybe you take that title from Roman Reigns if we get like a champion versus champion match. Because I think if anybody could beat Roman, it's got to be Bobby Lashley, right?
The only one.
Again, take my money, Bobby. Take it.
Here's all my money. I'll buy the shirt.
I'm gonna be broke before 2022 rolls around.
You know what I thought to do, and this is jumping the, I think it jumped the gun a little bit, but everybody had asked me about Roman before, and I was like, you know what, Roman, you're up there at SmackDown. Pick your best five. I pick my best five, and let's meet at Survivor Series. Let's see that.
Is that a challenge? Is that a challenge?
Do we start throwing out names?
Whoa!
I'll start throwing out the people that I'm picking.
Can we do this right here? Is this a Battleground podcast exclusive?
Listen, I'm picking, of course, Drew.
Yeah.
Man, I have so many big guns over there on Raw. I have Drew. I can throw Jinder, Sheamus, Keith Lee, Randy, AJ. I got who you guys.
That's a dream team right there.
Tell me who's on the SmackDown side that he would
Roman
pick.
knowing Roman and how everything's going on right now, I would say it's probably going to be just Roman.
Just Roman.
And the Usos.
And the Usos. Nobody else.
That's it. Nobody else.
Nobody else.
That's the famine. That's it.
That's it. Unless like The Rock decides that he wants to jump in, but I think if that would happen, Roman would be like, "We got it." Maybe Paul Heyman would throw himself in there.
Or Rikishi coming out of retirement. One of those.
Yeah.
He just needs some people to stand on the ropes because he's gonna do it all.
That's all you gotta do. Just tag him in. Man, looking forward to it. This is coming up Saturday, SummerSlam. Bobby Lashley is gonna defend that WWE Championship against Goldberg. Of course, you can watch it 8 p.m. Eastern on Peacock. And I will say that everybody that's been on this show has gone on to win. So you're going to continue winning. I don't see you dropping this to Goldberg, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Good luck,
and
Bobby.
Real quick, anything you want to say to the fans listening right now before we jump off?
No, man, I just say, we're back on the road. So we've been selling out everywhere we've gone, and the shows have been amazing. We've been giving them almost too much at some of the shows, and we got to turn it down a little bit. So if you have an opportunity to see that one of the shows or drive to one of the shows, get out there and come see us, man, because we're anxious. I mean, we want to see the fans just as much as the fans want to see us. So tune in, come check us out. To hell with these people that are fighting one promotion over the other promotion. We're all professional wrestlers.
Exactly.
And let's just have fun, watch it all, enjoy it all, support us all, and wrestling's wrestling, man.